Hello and welcome. Today's video, we are going to address a very common problem that always comes up whenever you're trying to take a trip. And especially if you don't have a lot of luggage that you're allowed to bring, either maybe you're traveling in a van and you have a bunch of friends and there's not a lot of room for big luggage, or perhaps you are taking a trip on an airline that only will let you bring a personal item. So you have to try to be really strategic in your capsule wardrobe. But then the biggest problem ends up being the shoes. Because when we take trips, most of us don't do one thing the entire time. Most of us do a variety of things. Some of us will spend time by the pool. Some of us go shopping. Some of us go to fairly fancy dinners. Some of us do really athletic activities. And all of these activities require different shoes. But if you pack all the shoes required, you're not going to have any room in your luggage. So what we're going to address in today's video is what shoes could you bring that are one and done? Shoes that are going to transition through a wide variety of activities so that on any given trip that you take, you only need to bring one, maybe two pairs of shoes at the most, which means you're going to be wearing one of them and packing the other one. So let's talk about what those shoes are. And I have classified them into two major categories dependent on the weather. So that's what you're going to really need to figure out is what weather are you going to be experiencing when you travel to whatever location? Is it going to be hot or is it going to be cold? Okay, so those are the two major things. And depending on that, what we're going to look for are really pretty hiking sandals, which these are not, by the way. These are not. These are an example of regular hiking sandals. These are not pretty, okay? Like, for instance, these North Face ones could be men's, quite frankly. And these ones I think are Chacos. They're so gaudy. There's so many colors that you can't wear these with everything. You can only wear these maybe with a pair of really casual shorts. And then don't even get me started on these Keens. I love Keens, don't get me wrong. I have two pairs. I wear them hiking all the time, and that is all they are good for. Because even if you try to wear them with a pair of jeans, they look ugly. They are so ugly. It's like wearing Crocs. And also, here's a pair of Tevas. The main problem with all of these hiking sandals are you look like a tourist, okay? And so, especially if you're having to go to dinner and you have to wear a dress, these are so ugly with a dress. You look like a tourist, okay? Especially these Keens. You look like a tourist. But what I want you to notice about these sandals is the soles of them are really conducive for walking and hiking. That's what we're going to look for. And then we're going to try to find a prettier silhouette so that we could wear them hiking, but we could also wear them with a dress. That's what we're looking for. And then for the cold weather, we're going to find more walkerly, like hiking versions of ankle boots, which these are not. These are very dressy ankle boots. But those are the two main categories. So you have to figure out, where's your trip going? Is it going to be hot or is it going to be cold? If it's going to be hot, look for a pretty hiking sandal. If it's going to be cold, look for a pretty hiking boot. Okay? Now, if you want to stop watching this video, that is my advice in a nutshell. But if you would like to see me flesh these ideas out, then continue watching. I don't like wasting people's time. I don't care if you like and subscribe. I just like to share good ideas. So let's talk about some options. Option number one for pretty hiking sandal. I really like these. I actually had a pair of these similar to these for 8 years before the tread on the bottom started to wear down and I needed to get rid of them. So notice them though, because look at them, the person wearing them, they don't look like hiking shoes. They look like regular sandals, but they have hiking capabilities. They have arch support. They have a really good sole on them that is made for walking, but they don't look orthopedic and they don't look like Chacos or Tivas, which, don't get me wrong, those are really expensive and they're an aesthetic in and of themselves. I just personally don't like wearing those with a dress. I think they look really touristy. But these shoes don't look really touristy. But you can see wide range of capabilities. You could hike with them, you can walk with them. And this is also really cool about them is you can flip up that back strap and put your foot in through the back and wear them as slides. Furthermore, I actually ordered a pair of these because I wanted to try them out and see if I like them. Remember, I like to wear slides on the airplane and take off my big shoes if I'm wearing big shoes. And because I like to wear compression socks on the airplane, I ordered these just to see if I could bypass the toe catch, and you can. So that's good to know. If you like these sandals, that little toe catch, you know what I'm talking about? The toe catch right there. It holds your big toe in place. If you want to wear them as slides, you can bypass that toe catch and wear them with socks. So that's a really nice option. Plus the fact that they pack down really flat. If you had to pack them, that's how much room they would take up. So that's really cool. Let's see. Some other things about them is, okay, so she's not wearing a dress, but you can see her outfit is dressy. She has pretty earrings. And what I notice about these, what I notice about these is what I don't notice. Okay, when I look at her outfit, my eyes don't go to the sandals. My eye sees the whole outfit as a cohesive outfit because the sandals aren't detracting from the aesthetic of the outfit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you want to be looking for, is something that is stylish enough that it's not like when people meet you for the first time on a trip or whatever, they're not looking at your feet going, oh, Lord, what in the heck is on her feet? You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're looking for. And if you wanted to stop this video and do your own search, what you need to look for is two main things. Can I run in them? And can I wear them with a dress? Those are the two qualifications that I'm looking for one and done footwear. Can I run in them? Because I'm probably not going to be running, right? I mean, I might have to run through the airport if I'm late for a flight. But if I could run in them, I could definitely hike in them, and I could definitely do athletic activities in them. That is the one side of the spectrum of active wear. But if they could be also worn with a dress, that's going to go to the other side of activities and events that you would be partaking in. So I like these, but I decided not to order them again just because, and this is the one drawback about them, is they are braided and it's a little too boho for my aesthetic, even though they are monochrome black, which, by the way, pick a neutral. They come in this other neutral color of sand. So if this is the neutral that goes with more of your outfits, then go with that one. I just typically wear black, but even though they're black, they're still braided, and that kind of gives off a boho vibe, and that's not really my vibe. Plus the fact that the other ones that I had, one thing about them is if you get them wet, it takes a long time for them to dry. And how do I say this? Like, I would wear these in lieu of wearing flip-flops in the shower. You know, instead of bringing a pair of flip-flops, I would just wear these. And, you know, literally they're one and done. You can wear them in the shower. You can wear them on the plane. You can run. You can wear them with a dress. All the things that I need them to do. But they don't dry fast. So on the morning that I'm leaving the destination to go home, I have to put them in a plastic bag, because if I put them in my bag, they're still damp, and also they get a little stinky, I've noticed, which is not a problem if you put them in a plastic bag and then just deal with it when you get home. You can wash them quite easily. I just squirt a little shampoo on them and rub them together and wash them off and hang them to dry, and then they're good as new again. But it's a little annoying to have to travel with something that's damp. So just know that. It takes a good 24 hours for them to fully dry back out. But if that is not a deal breaker for you, then these are definitely a great option. But the ones that I decided to go with this time are, wait a second, what's going on? Oh dear, my list. Aha, okay. The ones that I decided to go with this time are these by Dream Pairs. And that was thunder. Gosh, I just jumped. All right, so the only thing I don't like about these is the buckle. I don't like the buckle, but the buckle's not super noticeable because the whole thing is black. And notice too, when they're worn, you don't really, your eye doesn't go to the buckle. The eye kind of goes to the design that the laces are making on your foot. It's a feminine design. It's feminine enough. Like, men would look weird if they were wearing this. You could easily wear these with a dress. But the reason I opted for these instead of the others is that they're made with a sleeker cord, so it's not as boho looking. Plus, these are quick dry, so I'm hoping that they dry faster than those others. And the fact that you can wear them also as slides. I tested them out. You can put your foot through the back and you can bypass that toe catch as well. So I could wear these on the plane with compression socks quite easily. If I had to pack them down, they still pack down relatively flat. So these pass all of my tests, and I could definitely, and the deal breaker, the whole reason that I opted to get these instead of the braided ones, I'm going to return the braided ones. Really, the main reason is that the sole of the footbed is super comfortable. They almost feel like my Keens without looking as ugly as my Keens. So I could definitely run in these. I could definitely hike in these. And I could also definitely wear them with a dress. I could wear them in the shower if I need to. I could wear them in the ocean if I'm at the beach. I could wear them as slides on the plane with socks. I could wear them in the hotel as house shoes. You know, super, super versatile. And they're only $30. And they come in a ton, well, not a ton. They come in a lot of monochromatic colors, which is great if you don't like black, because not everybody looks good in black. But they come in all these other colors. Well, 4 colors. You can search on Amazon and find other colors of this style, but black is what I needed, so black is what I got. Incidentally, all of these shoes I'm going to show you are black, and that's because black is my favorite neutral color, but you could definitely find all of these in other colors. Now, an honorable mention is these sandals right here. And the reason is, yeah, they look a little orthopedic from the side, you know, but check this out. When you see them from the top, they just look like regular sandals, and I think they're so pretty. Watch this video. You can see these women are all dressed in different ways. She's kind of got a bathing suit cover up, and then she has jean shorts. She has a little mini skirt, and they look like they're supposed to go with that outfit. They don't look weird. Look at that. She's wearing a beautiful dress, and they look like they go with the dress versus I'm a tourist and I'm wearing my Keens, you know? They look pretty, and I really, really like that. Plus the fact that you can tell the footbed is super comfortable, so you could definitely run in these. The only thing is there is that toe separator. And it depends. Some people don't like that toe separation. Like for me, if I'm going to wear a pair of shoes like this for a long period of time, I have to build up a callus between my toes, or else I'll get like a blister there. But that footbed is super comfortable looking, and the style of the sandal is really pretty. And there's no weird buckle on it. It just has this Velcro that's very understated when they're on. So I think these are a great honorable mention. The only thing about them is you can't wear them as slides because they do have the toe separation. And you probably can't wear them in the shower either because they're kind of made of this micro suede. I'm not sure that you could wear those in the water. I'm pretty sure this kind of shoe, if you wear them in the water, they'll start to fall apart. But for every other purpose, you could run in them if you're comfortable running in thongs, and you could definitely wear them with a dress. So I think these are great. I might actually buy a pair of them in white. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Now, here's some honorable mentions of Keens. If you don't mind wearing Keens, these are at least, I'm just showing them to you because these are a little girlier. I still think they're ugly for a dress, and I would wear them for nothing but hiking because I would not wear these with jeans. It's that toe cover. The toe cover is awesome when you're hiking because you don't stub your toe, but it's so ugly in real life for any other event. But you could definitely run in these. And if I wore these with a dress, I would at least take a black marker and marker out that really ugly V that's right there on the top. At least do that, you know. But they're also really expensive, but I'm sure they're super comfortable. And then these are even a little girlier, but they're still kind of ugly. But I'm just showing them to you because some people can wear these with a dress and pull it off. I can't. I just look like an old lady if I wear stuff like this with a dress. Anyways, that's an option, and they come in all kind of different colors, so whatever. All right, now let's get to cold weather shoes. And what we're going to do with the cold weather one and done shoes is we're going to look for shoes that have a good walking slash hiking slash sneaker type of sole and a very sleek silhouette on the top, and have a style like a classic style in and of themselves. So we're going to look at ankle rain boots, Ugg boots. Okay, and I know there's a whole thing about Ugg boots. They are super ugly, but people wear them, you guys. Every year they're like, Ugg boots are out of style. They want Ugg boots to be out of style, but there is no boot on God's green earth that will keep your feet warmer than a pair of Ugg boots. So if you're going somewhere really cold, this is like fine. You know, I've seen people wear Ugg boots with a range of outfits. Anyways, that's a style. Cowboy boot, Chelsea boot, which is a very popular one and done boot, a moto boot, super badass, a hybrid boot, a work boot, and a combat boot. And then also, skipping ahead, because these are ones that I thought of at the last minute. And where did they go? They just disappeared. Let me find them. Where are my options? Oh, no. Sorry, guys. I didn't edit. Oh, a moccasin. A moccasin is a good option. That's a style in and of itself. And a very sleek looking snow boot. All right, so let's go through each one of these. Again, anytime you feel like you've seen everything, you can stop this video and stop listening, you know. But I don't require you to watch to the end. But let's look at each one of these. All right, so this is a really cool rain boot because it doesn't look like Farmer Brown's daughter came from working in the garden all day long. They look like Chelsea boots, but they are a rain boot. These are a great option if you're traveling somewhere like Seattle or the UK where it rains a lot. They'll keep your feet dry, and they are stylish enough that they would go with a range of outfits. As far as running in them, you may not hike up a mountain in them, but you could definitely do a lot of walking. And also, they are a brand name, Lucky brand. Anytime you have the ability to, I would opt for buying a brand name just because most of the time they're a little better made. And also it kind of makes you feel a little better when you're wearing a brand name. Something about it, I don't know. But these are really cute, and on Amazon right now they're about $35, so really affordable. I don't typically like rain boots just because they can get a little smelly because they're waterproof. They don't breathe. So you definitely need to air them out and wash them regularly, but that's a good option. All right, now let's talk about the Ugg boot, because I know people wrinkle their noses at them, but listen, they're hella expensive, and there is still, like, people love them because they keep your feet warm. I actually have a pair that are not this short. They're a little taller, and I feel like that style goes with dresses a little better. Like the ones I have, they kind of have like a buckle on the side too, so they look a little bit like rider boots, even though they're Ugg boots. You know, you're not fooling anyone. They still look like a loaf of bread on your foot, but they're so warm, and I've seen people wear them all different ways, with shorts even, with jeans, with whatever. As far as running and hiking in them, they're not the best for hiking on very icy, slippery things. But if you had to in a pinch, you could probably do it. They're maybe not my best choice, but they are a thing. Now let's talk about cowboy boots. Cowboy boots never go out of style. Even when people say they go out of style, they don't go out of style. You know why? Because they are an aesthetic. They are a style in and of themselves. And especially a nice little short ankle boot. They look super cute with a wide range of outfits. And I wouldn't get this brand just because these are vegan leather. If I was going to get a pair of cowboy boots, or I have a pair of cowboy boots, but I get them in real leather because real leather conforms to your foot. And like an actual cowboys used to do, all kinds of things in their cowboy boots. You can hike, you can do all kinds of stuff. There's nothing that beats a really well broken in pair of cowboy boots. You can see she's wearing a dress, and in a minute you're going to see somebody wearing jeans. They're highly transitional. You can wear them all kind of different ways, and you don't look obnoxious. Even places like Europe, people will wear cowboy boots, especially the short ones. If you're wearing the taller ones, then yeah, you look super duper cowgirl. But if you wear the short ones, it looks really stylish. But I would get them from a good brand that in genuine leather and really, really break them in before I took a trip. But you could easily, and my thing though is I don't really like walking a long time in any kind of heel. So they're not my choice of option. But if you don't mind walking in a heel, if you find that comfortable, and this is a really stylish one and done sort of footwear, I think it's cool. Now, most travel YouTube influencers will recommend Chelsea boots, and for good reason, because they're highly transitional. Like, they don't stand out and look weird with any of those outfits. They look like a style. They're super sleek, and you can get them in very comfortable versions of Chelsea boots that have really good traction for hiking. You could definitely run in them. You could definitely wear them with a dress. I would also try to find them in genuine leather. I realize some people have like a vegan thing and they don't like real leather, but I would opt for real leather just because they'll last longer, and look how much nicer they look. So that's the vegan one. Look at the stitching around the ankle. Okay, look at that right now, and now look at the leather ones. Look how much nicer that looks. They just look nicer, they hold up nicer, and you feel a little more confident when you're wearing real textiles. It's just, I don't know, it adds to the whole selling the outfit, when you know you're wearing something that looks good and that is a good, well-made product. Another nice thing about Chelsea boots is most of them are waterproof, even without being rain boots, just because they have a good seal around the bottom. Same thing with combat boots, same thing with work boots. They all tend to be waterproof, a lot of hiking boots as well. But Chelsea boots are great for one and done. The only thing that's a little sketchy about them is every once in a while, this like a really chunky lug sole goes out of style. So if you could find them in maybe a more understated sole, that might be more one and done for you, and then you don't have to keep updating them. But if you like that lug sole and you don't care what the style is and it's your personal style, then by all means, get the lug sole. I think these are awesome. I have a pair made by the brand Justin. Justin normally makes cowboy boots, but I have a pair of moto boots made with them. And what I love is the harness. These are by Fry. Fry is well known for that harness look. I think it's super badass, and you can wear it with all kinds of different clothing, whatever. You could wear them. You could wear it with shorts all the way to a really cool dress, and you just look badass no matter what you're wearing. So if that's your aesthetic, like more of a moto vibe, these would be the shoes for you. They've got good traction. You could run in them, and you can definitely wear them with a dress. They're super cool. And Fry makes, I think, vegan and genuine leather. But once again, I would recommend genuine leather if you don't have a hang up about it, because your foot breaks them in, and then they fit perfectly. and they're super comfortable. Now, bypassing the leather for a second, Doc Marten does make canvas boots, so this might maybe be an option. This is kind of an example of maybe a sort of a hybrid boot. So it looks kind of hikerly. It looks kind of like a ski boot a little bit with those lace loops, but it still has the Doc Marten aesthetic, and you could wear this with a range of things. Maybe not that pair because the laces are so contrasted, but I would try to find a canvas boot with a monochromatic lace. Not these. These look really hikerly. I don't think I would wear a dress with those. But some of these others, they've got the really nice, Doc Marten is super classic, and this is just a good option. If you don't want to deal with leather, then find a canvas boot, and they last a long time too. I bought a pair of gray Doc Marten canvas boots for my husband a long time ago, and they're still great. And he's really hard on his shoes. Like, I can make a pair of shoes last forever, but for some reason he tears them up. I don't know how he walks, because he looks like he walks like a normal person, but I don't know. Anyways, his gray Doc Marten, canvas Doc Martens they still look cool. So again, the cool thing about Doc Martens too is they've got that bouncing sole. They're famous for that. So they're very comfortable, and they are a style in and of themselves. Even when people say they go out of style, they're still in style. It's like cowboy boots. It is a style. So, and you don't look like a tourist, you know? You don't look like, oh, that person is trying to wear her hiking boots with a dress. Look how stupid that looks. No, it's like ever since the late 80s, early 90s, wearing a pair of Doc Martens with a dress is a thing. That's automatically a style. So you can run in them, and you can also wear a dress. Here's another option. It's a little harder to pull off with a dress, but it's a work boot. So the advantage of a work boot is they always have really good soles because they're made for workers in factories. They also, most of them have a steel toe in case you drop stuff on your foot a lot, that's an option. But they also have this sort of like sock sweater little thing around the cuff of the back. So that could be a deal breaker for you if you don't like that style, but some people really like it. Now you'll notice you can easily wear them with a pair of jeans, and they look probably the best when you're hiking, but you can also just wear them around shopping or whatever. If you were to wear these with a dress, I would highly recommend changing out the laces for a monochromatic look. So like, for instance, these are black and they've got kind of these white black laces. I would take those laces out and just put black laces in them so that they're not taking so much of your attention, especially when you're wearing a dress. People's eyes are going to be drawn to your laces. So look for something monochromatic. But this is a cool option, and especially if this is kind of your aesthetic, this would be a great option for you. They come in different colors, as you can see. And a lot of times you can find them in genuine leather, and they hold up for years and years and years. So that's cool. All right, this is my personal option for a one and done traveling shoe. Is not just a Doc Marten boot, but a patent leather black Doc Marten boot. And the reason is because the patent leather just gives it that extra elevated oomph if I'm going to wear a dress. There's just something about the patent leather that goes with a dress super well. But again, if you don't wear black, they come in, literally, Doc Martens come in every color. And if they don't have your particular color and you find a fabric you like, you can send them the fabric and they will make you a pair of Doc Martens with that fabric. They're known for that. But this is my one and done shoe, is the patent leather Doc Martens, because you can easily run in them, you can easily hike in them, and you can easily wear them with a dress. That's literally the thing about them, is you can wear them with anything. And even when people say they're out of style, they're still in style. I have a pair of patent leather Doc Martens that I bought about 15 years ago, and they still look like this. To this day, I've never done anything other than wipe them off occasionally. They might have a few little creases, where your foot bends, but they, for the most part, look exactly like this. They hold up great. I highly recommend Doc Martens for one and done shoes. Now let's talk about some kind of hybrid ankle boots. And so here's a pair I found that are made by Carhartt. So they are genuine leather. You know they're going to hold up. Carhartt is well known for making heavy-duty clothing and accessories. These are work boots, so they're probably steel-toed. They're waterproof, or they're water-resistant, sorry. And they're like a Chelsea boot, but they're also a work boot. So you could easily hike in these. They might be a little difficult to wear a dress with, but I think the right person could pull these off. But these are good quality. They're a little expensive. They're an investment, but I think they're a good option. If you're wanting something super transitional, I think these would be great because they're very understated. They don't scream work boot. They don't scream combat boot. They just look like a regular ankle boot. They don't even hardly have a heel. And because these are Dr. Scholl's, you know that they're going to be comfortable. So you could easily hike in them, run in them, and you could wear these with a dress. They also have kind of that little Euro style to them, meaning, you know, like if you look at pictures of European boots that they wear, they're just very sleek and modern looking. And so that's an aesthetic that you could look for any of this footwear, is look for something Euro style versus orthopedic looking. And that way you're going to look less like an American tourist and more like you're just a local. Okay. All right. Here's another option. If you don't like the lace-up look of Doc Martens, they also make Chelsea boots. So you have the advantage of the bouncing sole, that they're well known for the comfortable bouncing sole, but it's even more understated from those lace-up boots. You can definitely wear them with whatever you want to wear. You can run in them, and you can wear them with a dress. Now, none of these boots you're going to be wearing to like formal dinner parties or anything, but I'm just saying they are transitional through a variety of major outfits. You're gonna, if you have to dress up, you're gonna have to bring a pair of heels. But if you're going to do pretty low-key things and maybe only go to dinner once, then that's what we're looking at here. All right, now these I came across, and I know I trash-talked Keens earlier. I do love Keens for hiking because they have that toe guard, and that's what they're famous for. I wish these boots didn't have the toe guard because it's like they're boots, okay? You don't need the toe guard on boots, because you're not going to stub your toe in boots because they're boots. But anyway, that's the keen thing, is to have the toe guard. The only thing that doesn't actually bother me because they're black, the toe guard is black and the boot is black. The only thing that bothers me about these is the sole is gray. So if I were to get something like these, I would try to dye that gray part black so that the whole thing is monochrome black. But even though they have the toe guard, what I wanted to point out is they see that stitching down the front. It's kind of that Euro style. So even though they are Keens and they have the obnoxious toe guard, they also have a Euro style stitching on them, where I think if you wore these in Europe or Asia, you wouldn't stand out looking like a tourist too bad. I think these are good hybrid. You could definitely hike in these, and you could maybe wear them with a dress, but they're waterproof. They're snow boots, so they're going to keep your feet warm. And they're very sleek looking for being snow boots and for being hiking boots. All right, now, if you're traveling in cold weather, if you're still staying in a hostel or a hotel and there's no way around it, you're going to need to bring a pair of either flip-flops or what I bring, which I'm going to show you in a second. You know what flip-flops are. You can get them anywhere. You can get them at Dollar Tree. This is not a deal breaker because flip-flops fold down to nothing. So you can easily pack a pair of these. So if your hotel has a pool, or if you don't feel comfortable walking on a hotel floor, hostel floor, or like in the shower, then I would bring these definitely. This is what I wear, and I like these better than flip-flops for the reason that you can see in this picture. You unfold them and they pack down completely flat. So you can fit them anywhere in your luggage. You fold up those two outer parts, and that's what becomes the part that holds your foot in. And because they don't have a toe separator, you can wear these as slides. So if you are going to wear your ankle boot on the plane because they are heavy and you're not going to pack those, I would have these flip-flops or these slides easily accessible, And especially if you're wearing compression socks, I would opt for this over a flip-flop because you can slide your whole foot into it. And that's going to keep your feet protected while you're on the plane, especially if you have to go into the bathroom, but you don't want to wear your big heavy boot on the plane. All right, now we finished the talk about cold weather and warm weather or hot weather. What about if you're traveling during a time of the year that's a little bit like a transitional period, like late spring, early fall, where a boot is going to be too heavy and sandals are going to be too cold? Well, here's some options. And the first ones I'm going to show you, I'm just going to tell you I don't like these, but they are options. I think these are kind of ugly. But you can notice with the right outfit, they don't look too bad. To me, they look like old lady shoes, but you could run in them. And because they are definitely feminine, you could wear them with a dress. They're just not my cup of tea, but they are transitional. They would carry you through a lot of different events if you needed them. What I really don't like about them is I don't like that mesh. I think that looks kind of cheap. So another option that you could do is, I don't know why it always loses my place when I click back, is something like this that's leather looking, or you can also find Mary Janes that are genuine leather. These are a little bit better. If I were going to buy a pair like this, I would definitely try to find something Euro styled where the toe was either squared off or a little boxy or a little pointy. Like the rounded toe looks like American Tourist to me, but if you could find them a little more pointy or boxy, then it's going to look like a good brand. Maybe to look for is Bjorn, Bjorn. I think Walmart carries them. I can't find them on Amazon, but they are literally Bjorn. It's like a Nordic company. And so their shoes always they're a little boho. But they're very Euro looking. But they're always made out of, well, most of the time they're made out of genuine leather, so they conform to your foot. I had a pair back in college and I wore them completely out. But anyways, that's something that you could look for. You could run in them and you could wear them with a dress. And let's just kind of watch this video and see some of these women, how they're dressed. She's got cutoffs, and it's you could wear them with a skirt, I guess. And I don't know. They're still not like the best, but they are highly transitional. Maybe a better option would be something like these Skechers on the go, because they look a little more understated. They don't have that Mary Jane strap. So they just look like a normal flat shoe. They are a little rounded. So if you could find something like this with maybe slightly pointed or a boxy toe, that might be a little better. But you could definitely wear these for a lot of different activities. You know, I had a pair similar to this, and I've hiked in them and walked in them, and you can wear them with a dress. Again, they're not they're not super dressy or anything, but they'll carry you through a wide range. I would take a black marker to that S on the back just because that draws the eye to it, and you don't want, especially when you're wearing transitional shoes, you don't want your outfit to be all about your shoe. Unless you're wearing a cowboy boot or a moto boot, and then that's the whole point. You're wearing it for people to see the style, you know? So you just figure out what works best for you. I'm giving you a lot of ideas. Here's one more idea I'm going to leave you with as far as an equinoxial period, early spring, late fall, late spring, early fall, where it's kind of just in between weather, is look for something that's maybe kind of a loafer style. Especially a Euro styled loafer is going to look great because a lot of Europeans wear this style with all kinds of different clothing. These are good buy because they are zero drop, so they're going to be good for your joints. I don't know how long you'd be able to walk in them. To me, I don't think these would be great for walking all day long. But if you like this style, if you like the zero drop and you like a kind of barefoot feel, some people like that. If that's the thing, I prefer a little more of a sole just because If it's too barefoot, then my knees start hurting, but because I'm an old person. But whatever. Anyways, this is another option that you could look for. It's less obnoxious than the Mary Jane, but it's a little more casual than that Skechers flat that just kind of looks like a dress shoe, but it's still not a dress shoe. Anyways, those are a lot of options for one and done shoes. And I hope that even if you didn't like anything I showed you, I hope it gave you an idea of something that you might like. And that way, no matter what you do, what you choose, figure out what the one and done shoe is for you for your next event, and try just packing that one thing and see if that works for you. Oh, one little side note though is especially if you pick a boot, make sure that you bring a flip-flop or something that you can give your feet a break in between, when you get home, versus just walking around in bare feet. Maybe have a flip-flop on hand to kind of give your feet a rest from walking in your boot all day, because that is a thing that tends to happen is after you've walked all day in one pair of shoes, the next day your feet might still be hurting from that pair of shoes. So give your feet a break, just think about that. All right. Anyways, I think these are some good ideas, and I hope you have a great day. Happy travels.